We were 5 miles from the closest road. No service, no signs. Just a worn trail that disappeared behind rows of black bark and overgrowth that looked untouched for decades. The forest was quiet for late spring. Even the wind seemed careful where it moved. We hadn't come looking for anything. There was no ghost story leading us here, no campfire myth or local legend, just a long overdue hike. But then we saw it partially buried in moss. A scratched lens poking out like it was watching a camera, all water damaged, duct tape wrapped. Twice around the grip, no name, no serial, no reason to be out here. When we got back, I charged it. The lead blinked red. Dead, but still functional. I slipped in a fresh SD card, expecting nothing. But the memory was internal. And it hadn't been wiped, 46 files. The first one was just an out-of-focus shot of trees. The second, someone's face. He looked confused. Then scared. Then something else. The kind of fear people don't act out. This wasn't an art project. It wasn't a vlog. He wasn't talking to anyone. Just walking, alone. The camera was moving with him like it had a purpose. And then came the whisper, barely audible. Reversed, repeating. We'd boosted the sound. Slowed it down. And that's when we heard it clearly. He found it. He shouldn't have. Pause. Brief static cut. Forest sound rises slightly. What follows is the full breakdown of that footage, frame by frame. We didn't tamper with anything. We didn't enhance or distort. We're presenting it exactly as we recovered it. What you're about to watch was recorded over 12 nights, and the final file is missing 4 minutes from the end. No one knows why. We tried locating the man you'll see. No ID matched. No missing persons reports filed in the last 10 years from anyone even remotely resembling him. What's most disturbing isn't that we found the camera. It's that someone wanted it to be found. And someone else didn't. It was early April. The footage shows soft patches of thawed soil, frost still clinging to branches. From the lighting, we estimate it was shot between 4 and 6 p.m. The man whose name we never learned starts filming from a slight incline. There's no opening statement, no commentary, no signs he even knew the camera was rolling. But he keeps looking behind him, as if something had moved just beyond frame. The footage jitters slightly, like his hands are shaking, but not from cold. At 0 hours to minutes and 14 seconds, he stops, turns the camera slowly left, then right. Trees, moss. A strange shape, could be a rock covered in burlap. He approaches it but never uncovers it. His breath becomes faster, visible now in the cold, but he never speaks. We slowed this part down, increased exposure, adjusted audio levels. There's a sound here right before he turns away. It's short, 3 knocks, equal spacing, too rhythmic for wind. No birds, no footsteps, but something that sounds intentional. He walks away quickly after that. Video cuts to black. The second file picks up in a different location. Same forest, different hour. We believe these were stitched manually, an attempt to create sequence, but even then, it doesn't line up. In this new footage, the sun is higher, time has moved backward, and the burlap object, it's gone. There's no trace of it in the background, even though he's standing in what appears to be the exact same clearing, a minor continuity error, possibly. Until you realize this wasn't edited. We pulled the metadata. These weren't shot hours apart. They were shot seconds apart, on the same camera, in the same session. Something changed in real time. When we tried to geolocate the scene based on satellite terrain data, the GPS coordinates pulled us to an empty gray patch. No trees, no elevation, no records, just dead data. The software froze when we tried to reprocess the coordinates. It's never done that before or since. That's when we began to understand this wasn't just found footage. It was planted. We decided to dismantle the camera piece by piece. It wasn't a professional model, just a consumer-grade Canon from around 2003. Battery was swollen, lens scratched. It had no external memory. No serial sticker. That was the first red flag. Manufacturers always track their hardware warranty. Replacement parts. But this one, nothing. Like it was made for one-time use. Still, we pulled what data we could from the internal memory chip. 46 video files, time-stamped, unnamed, no folder structure. Every clip ended abruptly. None had audio markers or file headers. That's not normal. Even corrupted files usually leave some metadata behind. These didn't. They were pure footage, nothing more. No digital fingerprints, except for one, file 27. It's only a few seconds long, The camera's on the ground. It's facing up at a canopy of trees. There's movement, branches twitch slightly, but there's no wind. Leaves rustle, but none fall. The ambient sound is gone, replaced by static, soft at first, then louder, until one frame bleeds red, like the lens had ruptured from within. And just before it ends, a face enters frame. Only part of it left cheek, one eye, mouth just barely open, pale, expressionless, not looking at the camera, but past it. We ran it through a few AI facial match systems. No results, not even close. It didn't match any known datasets, criminal or civilian. But what's worse, it didn't register as human. The algorithm tagged it as an incomplete render, a glitch, but we didn't alter anything. We reached out to someone we trust, an archivist who's worked with war footage, lost expedition reels, even black box recoveries. She watched it 3 times. Then she told us something I still can't shake. This wasn't shot for memory, it was shot for transmission. That's when it changed for me. I wasn't trying to solve a mystery anymore. I was trying to trace a message, something that didn't want to be traced. Something that hadn't just been recorded, it had been sent, and now we had received it. We queued the first extended video file of 3. It opens mid-motion. The camera sways side to side like someone's walking, but the stride is uneven, stumbling. The light is dim, overcast. Forest floor blurred beneath unsteady boots, no intro, no voice, just footsteps and breathing. Short, anxious, almost like the person behind the lens is trying to move quietly but failing. Then at 0:42, the camera jerks violently. The man has stopped. Something ahead, just outside of frame, is catching his attention. He zooms, focus struggles, and for just 2 seconds we see it. A figure, mid-distance, standing completely still, not facing the camera, not moving, just present. It's wearing something tattered. Could be a coat, could be skin. The figure is too far to identify. Then, without warning, it turns not to the camera, but slightly past it, as if something else is watching alongside us. The cameraman doesn't react, as if he didn't see it at all. The footage cuts again, black frame, then returns suddenly with heavy breathing, now closer. The forest looks the same, but listen carefully. The birds are gone. The ambient noise has drained away. And then faintly we hear what no one expects to hear in an empty forest, a child's voice, singing. Just 2 lines, off-key, soft, almost rehearsed. If you go into the trees, don't forget to leave your keys. Then silence, no footsteps, no breathing, just complete, unnatural silence. The clip ends mid-frame, cutting off the last beat of the song. We played it again, boosted the audio, reversed it. At -0.25x speed, a second voice emerges beneath the child's, deeper, whispering one word, repeating stay, over and over, until the last syllable clips out, replaced by static, stay. By now we had seen 8 separate clips, different angles, different times of day, but something didn't sit right. The man behind the camera walked miles, at least that's what it seemed. But when we overlaid the footage digitally, he hadn't moved more than 50 feet. Trees changed, shadows shifted, but a small scar in the bark one we spotted in file 05 reappeared in files 08, 09, and 13. Same height, same gash, same curve in the roots beneath. He was walking in loops, except he didn't know it. Each loop ends the same way. A sudden camera tilt, then a sound, never the same. A whisper, a knocking, a wet dragging noise that stops instantly when he turns. No origin, no echo, just a presence. But what chilled us most was file 11. In it, he stops walking and stands still for over 2 minutes, breathing, watching, waiting. The forest looks completely unchanged, but in the background, partially buried in the undergrowth, is the same camera we found. Identical make, identical strap, same strip of duct tape on the grip. We froze the frame, compared it pixel by pixel. It was the same object in the video that we recovered before the footage ever ended. That's when we realized he was already walking behind us. Either he had 2 cameras and dropped one to film the other, or something else was recording this long before we were meant to find it. The moment we acknowledged this loop, things changed in the footage. The sound warped. Voices no longer whispered, they started answering. File 14 starts with a man's voice. But it's not the same man, he says. Clearly, he turned around. He wasn't supposed to. And then, silence again, until a laugh, dry, joyless, echoes once, and cuts off. This wasn't just about being lost. He was being moved, redirected, like the forest itself was folding in on him, bagging him back to the same clearing over and over. Only it was never quite the same clearing. Something always shifted. A branch bent the wrong way. a shape in the background that wasn't there before, and at the center of it all was us. Every file we watched felt like we were being watched in return. File 22 is the longest, 8 minutes, 37 seconds, no cuts, no distortion, perfect clarity, which made it the hardest to watch. It begins in total darkness. Then click, the camera's night vision kicks in. Everything is green, grainy, surreal. The man's breath fogs the lens slightly, like he's hiding it close to his face. He's crouched behind something. You hear twigs crack. Not his, something else. Heavier, slow, measured. He doesn't move, doesn't even tremble. Either he's in shock, or he knows. It can hear him. Then, over a full minute, the camera slowly turns toward the sound. Frame by frame, branches come into view. Then a clearing. And there, something standing still tall, covered in what looks like rope. But not rope. It's moving. Just barely. You never see its face. Only the outline. The sense of height. The arms that look too long. And a second shape behind it dragging something. The man gasps just once, then he bolts. The camera jerks wildly. He's running now, branches whip across the frame, low-hanging roots trip in, he falls, heavy breath, the lens cracks. A streak of blood crosses the frame. He's whispering now, rambling, incoherent, but one phrase repeats, "It saw me this time, it saw me this time, it saw me this time." Then suddenly silence again, like the forest itself stopped to listen, and a voice cleared, masculine, familiar, "Don't run, it remembers you." Then static, but not digital static, analog, organic. Like someone scraping nails across a microphone. And just before the tape ends, the man says one final thing. Very audible. "If anyone finds this, leave it here. Please, don't watch the others, _" But we did. We watched every last one. We cataloged them, filed them, analyzed them. And still, we missed something. The final 4 minutes of file 22 are black. But not digital black. Frame by frame, there's movement in the pixels. Shapes emerging then vanishing when lightened. Enhanced, they form a room, not a forest. 4 walls, a floor, and one object in the center. A mirror, facing the camera, showing no reflection. And in the final frame, just before the feed cuts permanently, a single word fades onto the bottom corner of the screen, upload. __. We didn't want to believe what we saw, but we also couldn't look away. So we started digging. Using face-matching tools, we cross-referenced frames of the men from earlier videos with thousands of missing persons reports. Nothing. No match in facial recognition. No missing hikers. No cold cases that fit his age or appearance. We assumed maybe he'd used a fake name, or maybe the footage was older than we thought. But the data embedded in the files, those timestamps, they were recent. Only months old. So we looked somewhere else. Deep forums, back-channel blogs, and that's when we found something strange, a post buried in a paranormal thread from over a decade ago. No replies, one view, titled simply, "I went walking where the trees hung." Inside was a single image, low resolution, green tinted, but it was unmistakable. The man, same face, same clothes, posted 12 years ago. We checked the server logs. The post was made from a town that doesn't exist anymore, a failed mining community that was wiped off census maps in the late 1990s. But even more disturbing is profile. It had only ever made that one post until last week, when it updated automatically. No human activity. No login. Just a file uploaded under the name mirror-room-final.mp4__. We downloaded it. The file size was 0 kilobytes. Empty. But when we opened it, our camera light turned on by itself. There was no video. No audio. Only our reflection in a screen that wasn't turned on. That's when we knew we weren't watching him anymore. It was watching us. Somewhere between fear and obsession, I decided to go back. It wasn't curiosity. It wasn't courage. It was a pressure, a pull. Like I owed something to the footage, to him. Or to whatever was guiding all of this. So I packed the exact same route. Took the same trail. Even brought the camera. But the forest was different this time. The birds weren't there. No breeze. No trail noise. No distant barking dogs or buzzing insects. Nothing. Like the place had gone soundless. The GPS gave out 3 miles in. I looked at my phone. And every compass direction pointed inward. no matter how I turned. The needle stayed locked toward the heart of the woods, underscore. At one point, I reached what looked like the same clearing from the footage. A tree stump in the center. Same layout. Same slope. I checked the footage. It matched perfectly. But the stump wasn't there. Not cut down. Not decayed. Just gone. Like it had never existed. I took a photo. Checked the timestamp, 3:17 p.m. The same time the man's tapes always cut to static, underscore. And then deep in the trees someone spoke, underscore. It wasn't a whisper this time. It was clear, familiar, my own voice. You shouldn't have come, but I hadn't said a word, underscore. I froze, held the camera low, looked straight ahead, and there it was again, closer this time, my voice, repeating back. Everything I'd said on the hike, word for word, perfect cadence, only faster, like it had been memorized. And at the end, it added something I never said. You don't belong here anymore. I left? I don't remember how I got back to the road. The footage cuts. My camera battery had died an hour earlier. But when I checked the card, there was new footage. I hadn't shot it, but it was there. From a high angle watching me, walking in circles, underscore. Underscore. Since coming back, things haven't been right. It started small. My phone alarm would ring at 3:17 a.m. every night. I never said it. The microwave reset its clock twice, always flashing the same numbers, 2317. And my cat, he used to sleep in the hallway, curled by the door. Now, he won't go near the closet. Not after the night it opened by itself. I told myself it was stress, sleep deprivation, but then the messages started, not on my phone, not online, inside the footage. Clips I'd already archived, clips I had reviewed dozens of times. They changed in file 9. The man now whispers something under his breath, words we hadn't heard before. We checked the raw file. It wasn't an audio overlay. It was in the original waveform, only now audible. You brought it home, underscore. I ran a visual comparison. Frames from before and changed, frames from now corrupted. Something had overwritten the footage, but not just technically, emotionally. The man's eyes before, they were wide. Now they're looking at the lens, at me, and in file 22 his final tape, the black screen. It's no longer black. It now shows my hallway, my furniture, and a shape in the doorway. Not moving, not speaking, just watching. When I turn off the camera, the hallway looks normal again. But when I close my eyes, I can feel it. Still there. Still facing me. Underscore. I tried deleting the files. The drive wouldn't respond. I smashed the SD card. 2 days later, all 46 files were back. Same names. Same sequence. But now, a 47th. No date. No timestamp. Just the title. Final I contact.mov. It's 2 seconds long, and it's me, sleeping from above. I haven't slept in 3 days. Every time I close my eyes, I hear it. The child's voice, the knock, the laugh. Sometimes it's outside my window, sometimes it's inside. The footage waiting, like it knows I'll come back to it eventually. And sometimes, I hear my own voice saying things I never said. I showed the footage to a tech forensic analyst. She scrubbed every pixel. No metadata, no signatures, no fingerprints. She left without taking payment. She told me, some things don't want to be understood. They just want to spread. We thought this was a mystery to solve. But it wasn't. It was a message. Not to be solved, to be passed on. If you're still watching this, you've seen it. You've invited it in. And now, you'll start noticing things. A shadow where it shouldn't be. A voice you'll swear was yours, saying something you've never said. And just before you fall asleep, a knock. This is the last time I'll speak on this. If the files return again, I won't open them. Because I don't think I'm the one watching anymore. I think I'm the one being recorded. If you made it to the end, subscribe to this channel for more true horror stories reconstructed from footage, testimony, and cases that never made headlines. But if you feel something watching you right now, maybe skip the next one. Some stories don't end, they follow.